The art of noticing is the art of remembering. And what I'm feeling my purpose is here on earth, at least right now in this chapter, is to help you and others remember the truth of who they are and get what you want. And when oh, such a beautiful butterfly, it's so perfect for this message. So when I say get what you want, it's a beautiful thing. It's a very soul-aligned God thing. It's not selfish. I mean, maybe it is selfish. I was actually talking to somebody in Portugal a few weeks ago, or like a week ago. I'm in France now, but about being selfish. And I was saying how I'm in this season of life being selfish, like a good thing. And she's just like, no, like, I don't think you're being selfish. And I think that there's probably different meanings to being selfish. And so when I think about selfish now, I've rewired it in my brain to being a good thing. If you're putting yourself first, putting your needs first, filling your cup, like we've been talking about, filling your stone bath with life force energy, with chi, with that vital, necessary fuel for your life to feel alive, to feel vital, to not like just be surviving and like pinching for like the last bit of energy that you have left to get yourself up and go to your office job and hate your life and then come home and just zone out and watch Netflix and wonder why you're like so drained. And so because the bathtub, I keep saying bathtub because that's what I see it as, and I talked about that. And when I went to the Vatican recently and I was in this room of bathtubs, like ancient bathtub stone looking things that I've been seeing in my meditation forever, I was like, oh my God. But just filling your cup, like we hear that all the time, right? And so I just went down a rabbit hole. The art of noticing is what will help us remember. And okay, so getting what you want, when I say you, whenever I say you, I'm meaning your soul. You as in your soul, because the truth of who you are is your soul. That's what lives on. You're having a human experience. And so when you get what you want, whatever that is, then you are fulfilling your soul's purpose and your soul's mission, and you are doing your God work here on earth. You are playing a role in what earth is needing right now if you're just following what you want. And I've had people say, it's like, no, like, that's so selfish, like, don't teach that. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, that's the unconscious, that's the conditioning within us, teaching us that it's bad to get what we want. And what I love about how the book Transurfing said this is like going to the soup kitchen and like doing these like good things, like these community service things. Yes, they are good, but the best, most aligned thing that you can do for Earth, in helping Earth in the best way possible, is by following and doing and living what your soul wants. That's how you play a part of this perfect puzzle. That's exactly your purpose on Earth, is to follow and do what you want and get what you want, because that serves the whole. And so I think I've said that in a bunch of ways at this point, and now we've landed, we get it. I want you to get what you want. And in order to get what you want, you have to start to remember the truth of who you are. And the truth of who you are, from what I know and feel to be true, is that you are this infinite being. You are unconditional love, infinite abundance. And we come to Earth and we forget that. We forget the truth of who we are in a mission to remember. And a lot of us are remembering right now. A lot of us are getting glimpses and feeling like, oh my gosh, like, this is an illusion, you know? And so anything is possible here on Earth. You can be anybody, have anything, whatever your soul and your heart has been asking you for so long. Like, there's never been a better time than now to go after it, to act for it. And that's also the message that comes through all the time. My angels and guides love to do riddles with me. And so the current one is still, yes, that part. But the first part is, there once was a time when nobody remembered, and there's never been a better time than now to act. I'm still exploring that, but from what I understand about it right now is that we are starting to remember. And life, I think, is meant to be full of joy and bliss and ease and floating through time and like experiencing and being in awe. And that doesn't mean that you're not going to have like raw human emotions of like sadness, because loss is inevitable, right? But we're not ever really losing anybody because we're infinite beings. The first time I lost somebody, it was, you know, earth-shattering, and I went through the stages of grief. But then I started to realize as I was coming out on the other end, I was like, I've never felt so close to this person. They're with me all the time. And I get to communicate with him any day that I want, and I get to ask for signs, and he's so quick to give me signs, and he's so quick to show up in my meditations. And you know, my heart's just racing right now because it's so real. And this tattoo is of him, or for him. It's a bee, and a bee just flew by as I said that. So yes, we will feel those emotions, you know, we will feel really intense things, but if you can try to start noticing, the art of noticing that you are having a human experience, noticing that these things are happening within your body, within your mind, and you're like, whoa, like how incredible, because sometimes when I'm like in it and I'm crying, like the other day, my van that I just purchased here in Europe, it wouldn't start, and it was pretty actually divine. I went to a free campsite to go empty my tanks and do all that, fill up water, and then as I was pulling out of the parking spot is when the van wouldn't start again. I was just barely pulled out of it. I stopped the van, and then I went to go do something, and I came back and it wouldn't start. And part of it, which isn't part of this story or example, is that it was like in a place I could sleep overnight for free, no problem. And there was a person there who came to help me, and he like took me to the mechanic the next day. He spoke French, which like all my stuff and registration is in France. And so it was just like so divine, even though I felt so like lost and powerless. And I was like, I've never had a car break down like that, especially in a foreign country by myself when I don't speak the language, like all these things. And I was like, what did I just buy? Did I just buy like a piece of crap? Like, I don't know what's wrong with it. Like, was I lied to by the person who sold this to me? I was like feeling all the things. I was crying. I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I miss home. I miss ease. I miss but then at the same time, as I'm crying and having a breakdown, I'm like, this is magic. Like, this is like such a human experience. If you were watching a movie, so there's two parts of that, right? It's the experiencing and the noticing. If you're watching a movie, like, we love those parts where it's like intense and you're like, what's gonna happen? And oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Like, that's what's so beautiful about watching a movie, right? It's like these surprises and these curveballs. And one of my favorite examples from the book Existential Kink, which I've talked about before, is if we are light, there's like a lot of little buggies, so that's why I keep dancing and like checking my legs. If we are light, right? We are source energy, we are God light, we are this infinite light, we are shining on a screen. All it would be is light. If we were just completely the truth of who we are, just in our soul self and our embodiment of our soul. But we want to experience the light. We want to see the contrast, to see the light in action and movement. And so that's how we watch a movie, right? That would be a movie on a projector screen, is the light and then the shadows and the contrast, so that we can like see light and movement. And so that's what life is. And so we are just experiencing the movie, but don't get lost in it and think that you are that experience and like that is it and there is no solution. Like, at the end of it, you are just the light. You are just the light, and there's no doom, there's no like loss forever, there's no anything like that. And so there's nothing to worry about. And when we let go of that worry and that fear of like, what's gonna happen, like, then we don't have attachment. And when we're in this place of non-attachment, we are free to let in so much into our life. Like that place of non-attachment is one of the most important parts to manifestation, to co-creating, to using the quantum field to select what you want out of the infinite possibilities. You have to have it or go into this without attachment, with being okay with the right now, with being okay with however it happens, whatever happens, like just being here for the ride, for the movie, right? Just experiencing it. And when you're in that and just like, okay, whatever happens, it's great, I'm here, it is what it is, right? That enlightened, non-attached place, then we also get to co-create. And so a lot of us are like, okay, I'm awake, I'm waking up, like I'm starting to realize, like, you know, I can have anything that I want. I have a really fucking important purpose here on earth, and I'm going to live that. Don't attach. Don't grab onto it. Don't grab onto it and make it so important that it's like it can't come through. Just say, I notice that. I notice that feeling within me. I notice these messages coming through. And then also, it's funny because like, hello, what critter's over there? I knew that the message, because, okay, so my process when I make these videos is I bring my little camera out here on a tripod and I pick a place that feels really good and potent and beautiful. And I usually am on a walk and I'll just stop somewhere, or I'll record inside the van or in the house that I'm in or Airbnb that I'm in at the time. And so today I was like, okay, angels and guides, what's the message that comes through today? Like, what message of the highest truth do you have to deliver? And then what kept coming through is the art of noticing. And so the art of noticing, originally what I thought was going to come through was just like what we've seen and heard more recently. Maybe you've seen like the trend, there's like a trend on, I think, Reels, maybe TikTok too, just the art of noticing, and it's a bunch of beautiful things. But that is really important too. So let's get into that. It's like when you become present enough to see what's in front of you, you're like, wow, this is so beautiful. And then you start shifting into a whole new timeline, a whole new like place of observing. The other day when I started getting silent and I was in meditation, I was like, wow, I didn't even like hear these noises. Like, I didn't even know that there was like this noise that sounds almost like a sound bath. I was like, where is that coming from? And I started noticing things more and more. Oh my goodness. There's a white spider on my camera. Hello, sir. Oh. Are you gonna crawl down on the, please crawl down on the camera area so they can see your body up close? Okay. Well, spiders mean, from what I understand, receiving, and it's like feminine energy from what I read before. And so maybe that's the message, but this thing looks like it's oh my god. Where did it go? Oh my gosh. Okay. Just start noticing things. Just start noticing, becoming aware. I gotta go. Do you guys want to see what I built in the van? Let's go. Maybe raise you a bit. Okay. So yesterday, oh, this is where the whole message started. Okay, I'm not done here. Because I've been wearing this sweatshirt like this in the past few videos that I've had. And that's what made me think of the topic, because I was like, I love this sweatshirt. It is so soft, it is so cozy. Like, it's just from a French grocery store. Like, it was like 20 euro, but I love it so much. I knew that I wanted like a gray sweatshirt. And so the past few days, I've just been like in love with it, like a kid with their blankie or something. And it made me think of Abraham Hicks and how Abraham Hicks has talked about Esther Hicks being on a flight and noticing. Full circle. I'm glad I didn't end it when we had the little spider situation. The art of noticing. And so she was on an airplane and she's like, wow, this seat is so comfortable, and was just noticing like how comfortable the seat is. And then they brought her a blanket. They're like, would you like a blanket? I'm pretty sure it was a blanket, but I know it was also a hot water bottle. And like they just kept bringing her more and more things of comfort. And like, wow, you know, because she was then in that timeline of noticing and then seeing more and more and more of those things that she was noticing. And so sometimes when I'm on a walk, I'll think, I started this in Switzerland actually, when I would wear my hiking boots, and I would be like, my shoes beneath my feet are so comfortable. Like I would just focus on how soft and supportive and like nice they were and how they were protecting me from the cold. And I would just notice that, because someone from Portugal is calling me. I should probably take this. Okay, I'm back. I had to answer that because it was a company that does like toll roads in Portugal, and I, being the American that I am, I'm not used to tolls this way, like where you pay them on the road. And so when I first bought the van, I took it straight to Portugal from France and through Spain into Portugal. So I was still figuring out the toll road situation and like which one you go through to take a ticket. And I messed up many times, or like I would go in the wrong one and I'd be pressing the button and then like the thing wouldn't open for me, and I'd be like, help, please, I don't have a ticket. And so I'd have to like back up with all these cars like trying to come behind me. So it was just chaos for the first week. So I went through the line that was the wrong one, that you only go through if you have like a little sensor. And I don't have a sensor, and I also don't have a Portuguese car. And so I wanted to call them and tell them like, hey, can you help me understand like what I owe? And like, I'm sorry, I didn't understand. So she was very helpful, and she called me back. So all good. Solo travel, figuring it out in a foreign land, many foreign lands. I wanted to show you what I built yesterday. Okay, so here, let me flip this around. I know it's nothing special, but I built this yesterday and I cut it all up myself. I have to cut another little piece out of the corner. What is the best course of action? And I know that this is bad. So I got too thin of wood. I understand. And it was like splitting because it's like the screws are too big for it. So I put many screws, so it's sturdy. And then I have to figure out how to screw in that area there. And then I'm going to put a lid on here. And then I think I'll take off that part, that lid, and make a pull-out situation, because I want to have a pull-out bed, and it's messy in here, but that's the rest of the van for reference. So I was gonna make a slat situation pull-out thing today, hopefully. And yeah, I'm very proud of this, even though it's not great. So I'll put some like 2x4s in it for support to hold the lid as it's closed. And then I was gonna build like a little dresser here that goes up to here so that it's the same height as that. And then like a little flippy thing that comes up and makes a ledge so that when I'm in the van, it connects all the way. If this is making sense, it will like all be a ledge right there, because I have like no counter space right now. It's just that over there. And then I was gonna build like wood that goes all the way here with like a arch there, and so I can still see out and climb out the front area, like to the front if I needed to, but that it's more aesthetically pleasing. So like you would only see this part of the curtain, not like all the way down here. And then there will be a backrest for the board there. So anyway, that is what I have for you today. The art of noticing. I still can't believe that spider like jumped at me midair. And I don't think it was on a web. I don't even know if it was a spider. It looked like a little alien, honestly. It was really weird looking. I'll have to rewind. I hope that you can see it. That was wild. I also have a toad that keeps appearing at the front door and visiting me and staying there for like days. And so I looked up the meaning of toad, and that was like fertility, which doesn't matter right now. I mean, someday. And then also prosperity, protection, and like general luck and all that. So I was like, this feels really good. So when I see him, I'm like, hi, little buddy. And I try to make sure Arlo doesn't see the toad. But anyway, those are my little omens, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. If you like this one, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here. Leave a comment if you feel called to do so. And I really appreciate you being here with me. For the past 2.5 months, we have been sharing this journey, Arlo and I, and talking about all these really special things. And I just love having a community around all the things that I love to think about and chat about. And so it's been beautiful. So I will see you tomorrow. Bye.